welcome to AnimeInkArt live talk. Sorry for this 3 minute delay. Underestimated how long it was gonna take to do my hair, but let's get everybody in here. Needs to get in here and let's get it started. All right, so I hope you guys have a good weekend so far. It's the end of the weekend, but I hope it's been good regardless, and that you have a good start to next week coming up in a few hours. But hello, everyone joining in for AnimeInkArt live talks. I'm your host Lizzie, and for those who may not know what this show is about, we talk with different creators in the community about their journey in content creation and how we can do better in the community. So today we have our special guest, Jeysthoughts. They're a cosplayer, content creator, gamer, streamer, also a fitness enthusiast. So we'll definitely have a good show. So let's get them on the show and let's get it started. So hopefully Instagram's been doing what it's doing. I will answer any questions that you guys have, but hopefully it works. Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. I love the blue background right now.
Thank you, thank you. It's just, the Alexa lights. I like when the sun goes down to have it turn on. I do
Yeah,
like a different color every month. This month is blue. Should have been green though, because March.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome though. I like it so much. And how was your weekend so far?
My weekend was pretty good. It was pretty good. I didn't really do too much because I'm in grad school part time, so it's mainly been catching up on all the work I missed because BlurCon last weekend, so I didn't get to do much.
Yeah, I get that. And again, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
You're welcome. And for people that may not know who you are, introduce yourself and what you do.
Well, I am Jay. I also go by JHD or Jeysthoughts, and I'm pretty much just a content creator. I stream, I do cosplay, I make YouTube videos, and I like to make fitness content. I haven't made a lot of fitness content lately, but I hope to start that up soon. But yeah, I'm a big gym rat too, so I like fitness stuff.
That's awesome. And you do many things. I wanted to ask when you first decided to share it with the world, what did you start with first and what inspired you to do that?
Okay, so that's tricky, but I think what I started with first would have been all my gaming content. So, and this goes like far back actually.
Yeah.
So back in the YouTube channel that I'm running now, I made it actually back in 2012, back when I was very young, and I made a lot of at the time on PlayStation, you could like clip videos and like upload them straight to YouTube. So I did a lot of that, so a lot of gaming content. But then I kind of after 2012, I kind of just never went to that logged into that YouTube page until 2023
Mm.
when I was just like I want to start, I want to start streaming because I had not had a lot of time to play all the like video games. I would buy video games, but just never have time to play them, right? And so I wanted like a reason. I wanted to start streaming because I was like, oh, maybe that'll motivate me to play all these like games that I haven't played in a long time. So like I bought a cheap little capture card, and I revived that. I logged into that old YouTube channel, and from there I just like started gaming again. And so yeah, that was probably the first kind of content creation stuff I started doing.
That's awesome. And I did get a chance to check the current YouTube channel, and you play a lot of different games, like indie games, especially like horror games specifically, like on that channel. And like, what is your connection with horror, and like why you play a lot of those games, especially on YouTube?
So so horror games, I feel like I think for me at least, I feel like horror games are just really fun to play because they're always you don't know what's gonna happen, and also I feel like they're very entertaining to watch too.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good way for me to like get me to talk and connect whenever I'm like streaming horror games or just recording horror games to upload to YouTube. Because it's like I noticed this thing because I'm scared while playing, so I'm constantly like talking just so it won't be quiet while I'm
Yeah,
playing. Um, and yeah, something about like the adrenaline of like the jump scares and not knowing what's gonna happen next, and also in terms of indie horror games, a lot of the indie horror games actually have like really good like stories behind them too. And so I think that's probably the two reasons why I gravitate towards horror games.
that's awesome, and definitely it seems like you're very entertained when you play because like you're very like animated when you're playing the game. I did enjoy watching them, so like for whoever wants to go to the page, like definitely go to that.
Yeah, I love a good horror game. And I'm trying to go on like itch.io and hopefully I get a PC soon to like go on Steam and play more indie horror games. But right now I'm pretty much limited to whatever is on like itch.io for Mac or any of the indie horror games that are like ported over to PlayStation.
That's awesome. And also you do Twitch as well. And I know on Twitch, like you do a lot of like nostalgic games you said. And I can tell from like the cosplay and stuff, like Mario and like Nintendo and Sonic and stuff like that. So I know there's like a very nostalgic vibe when it comes to that. And what made you start Twitch? And what gravitates you towards like the nostalgic games on Twitch specifically? 'Cause I feel like I see that you do separate it depending on which platform it is.
Yeah, so this with the nostalgic games, uh, I don't know. It's just something cool. Like back when I was young, I had a GameCube and I had a Game Boy, and then later on like a DS. Uh, but I just remember like playing a lot of games when I was younger. And my favorite, and I just really I found an emulator, and so I really just wanted to like play all those games that I played as a child and like just experience them as a adult to see if like those games were actually like as good as I remember or just blinded by nostalgia. So one of my favorite old school games, or not old school, but I don't know. I mean, it came out at this point. It came out 22 years ago, so that might be old school. I don't know. Was Sonic Heroes? I had the GameCube version specifically, and I
Yeah.
know I did a playthrough of that on my YouTube channel. And so, like, just playing those games again, um, I specifically like I tend to post the nostalgic one. Try to post the nostalgic ones on YouTube or stream them and then post them on YouTube.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. It just brings back good memories to like video gaming as a child because I do have fond memories of like waking up on like a Saturday or a Sunday morning and just like gaming from like 7 a.m. all the way to like 1 p.m. And so that brings that back. I know some games I think about that I do want to go back to is like the 3D Pac-Man
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
like Pac-Man World 2 specifically. I remember I had that one. Super Mario 64, one of the greatest 3D
Mhm.
platformers of all time, if you ask me. Um, Super Mario Sunshine is another one I want to go back to. Yeah, I just really like, you know, the, I don't know. You just know how like the nostalgia just hits, and so
Yeah.
playing again, it just brings back all those memories, even if the game turns out to not be as good as you remember it was. But
That's true. That's true. That's very true. And I wanted to ask, because I know how you said you started YouTube for a very long time, and just streaming in general is something that like you've been doing in some capacity. What are some of the lessons that you learned along the way to get to where you are now, where you feel like you're more like in a stable place when it comes to streaming?
um, just know that I think the lessons I learned is just to be patient with it because there's gonna be things that happen and you're gonna mess up. And like with difference between streaming and like editing for YouTube is if you're gonna mess up and you can't like edit it out, so you're just gonna have to keep going. I know like in a lot of my streams, I like just mess up a lot. I mess up a lot. Um I might say the wrong thing or I might have technical failures happen quite
Yeah.
a bit. Like my camera will like switch off or screen goes black or something like that. So I think the main lesson to learn is, just be patient. And I think a lot of people who watch streams, like, you're live streaming. So, issues are going to come up. And, most people are cool with that.
That's awesome. And I know that like cosplay is something that you're really getting into now, and from what I saw from your content, it's like one of the newer things. Like I feel like last year you went to BlurCon, and it was like the first time you got to cosplay like in public. So what jump started the cosplay journey, and how was your first experience being BlurCon, which is a great con for it to be your first experience? How did you feel? Like what prompted you to start cosplaying, and how was that first experience?
Well, so when I was in undergrad, right? So
Yeah,
this was also quite a bit of time ago. But when I was in undergrad,
yeah,
uh, there was this on Instagram, on my Instagram Explore page. There was always this one cosplayer. He was a Spider-Man cosplayer.
yeah.
He was black and also a cosplayer, and so seeing that like really like inspired me and I always thought it was cool. And like from then on, I was like, oh, this seems like something I want to do. But being in college, you're like broke, you don't know what to do. It is like I don't know where I would go cosplay because I wasn't really hip to the whole like convention thing. Like I always knew about like San Diego Comic Con because that's like the
Yeah.
big one everyone talks about, but I didn't really know much. And so, I just went, I was like, one day I'll cosplay. And then I graduated college in 2020. So, the whole world shut down. So I
Yeah.
had money, but nothing was available to do. So, I was just like, okay, one day I cosplay. So it was kind of like the thing that I've always really wanted to do, but it, just kept pushing, pushing it off. But that was until summer 2023. I met Carol Bits,
Yeah.
another cosplayer,
Yeah.
and she really encouraged me to like, just go and do it. Might as well just, go out there and do it now, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, because she showed me her page and all her cosplays, and it reminded me when I was like younger and in college how um seeing this other cosplayer, and his name is like leaving my mind because I actually saw he was at BlurCon
Mm.
this past weekend too, which is
Yeah.
crazy. I wish I went up to him, but I can't think of his name right now. But like seeing all her cosplays and all her content, it reminded me of that, and reminded me of like how I always wanted to do it, right? And so she really gave me that push to just like go do it and like go be comfortable doing it. And then she also agreed to go to a con with me, which was BlurCon last year, right? So I felt like if anything, like a black nerd convention would be like the safest
Yeah.
space for me to cosplay for the first time. And
Mhm.
so that's how we got to that point. And so, just went to BlurCon and cosplay, and it was an amazing time. Now for BlurCon being my first convention and the experience, one BlurCon was like I feel like it's like both a blessing and a curse because BlurCon is so fun. It was so great that like
Yeah.
set this like the standard for
Mhm.
conventions
Actually,
very
yeah.
very high for me. So like very high, and like and to this like I've been to a couple other conventions now since, and BlurCon still like very high, like still the best one yet, still the best one yet. So it's like it was it, I had a very great time last year and this year. Um, just I love the vibes. Like it's like a black nerd homecoming kind of vibe. Love how cool everyone is. I love seeing everyone like get to celebrate both their like blackness and their nerdiness. And I just think it's like a really cool thing. So yeah, great, very great experience. Set the bar really high though, which is a great thing, but is also kind of like a
Yeah.
bad thing
Yeah.
because it's like you know.
I
So
feel
yeah,
I feel like because like BlurCon like speaks to us as like black nerds because there's a bunch of people in the community that we can really like bond with and like get to know each other, and like since this is like really like gonna be going into like your first full year almost, of cosplaying, and you've been able to have like a lot of amazing connections and like groups that you've been a part of. Like, what has been like the best experience like getting into cosplay for you in terms of like, is it the community? Is it just like putting yourself out there? Like, what's the best part of like you jumping into this journey?
So I think the best thing, two things actually. It's the first thing would be, of course, the community. Seeing everyone's cosplays and their takes on different cosplays is like really cool because I mean, there's a lot of characters out there that we cosplay that aren't black, so it's really cool to see everyone's take on that character and how they like do it to like make it their own. I find that very cool, and like it's always like cool like at BlurCon seeing everyone, and it's like, oh my gosh, you look so cool. May I take your picture? Because I would just never have thought of doing it like that. That is just amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and then so like just that whole community is like really really cool. And then it's like the other thing would be like the creative expression you get from cosplaying. Like you see a character you want to cosplay, right? But then sometimes you can like buy a costume of that character and wear that, and that's fine, of course, completely. But then you can like do that character, like I mentioned before, like do it your own way. Like you can take your own like creative liberties to really make that character your own. And I think that's the part I really really enjoy about cosplaying is like seeing a character and it's like, okay, I want to cosplay this person, right? But what can I do so that it's like my version of this character? And so I find that really cool. I think, and um, someone who I really admire who does this very well is Carol Bits, because if you see her cosplay, she always has like the afro or the afro puff. So you know, I really admire that of how she really makes all her cosplays her own.
That's so sweet. And something I forgot to ask Carol is because you both have been on the show, and I forgot to ask. How does it feel to be able to be with somebody that has shares the same passion for like the cosplay and just the content in general? Because you guys are a dynamic duo, and you guys do a lot of content together. So how has that like pushed you, either the both of you or just you in general, like in general, you know?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's actually I don't want to blush.
I guess I
uh,
didn't want to make her blush that way. That's why. But I'm like, with the two of you guys, you're separate, so I always make sure to ask separate questions. But at the same time, I have to ask together at some point. So that's
no, 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 no. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. No, it's really cool. It's really great because I feel like we can motivate each other to like keep going and doing our content. We can like bounce ideas off of each other and like see if is this a good idea or is this not, and we can help each other like um like actually make content because we're both like good at like specific things. Like I know I help out a lot with her with taking her. I'm a photographer, so
yeah.
I
Mhm.
help out a lot with taking her pictures, and then she also she helped me out a lot with like some of she has like a lot of knowledge on like video editing stuff and how like different things you can do in videos that make them like really stand out. So that's really cool. But overall, yeah, I mean, it's like really, it's a great feeling. It's like really cool having someone who's like into the same things as you. It really makes the whole process even that much more fun.
That's awesome. And that was also, thank you for bringing that up because I was gonna bring up how you're a photographer and how long have you been doing photography for, and how does that help with your content creation? Because are the majority of the pictures like that you take, do you get help for it, or like having that background just helps you do the edits and stuff that you need to do?
So I started photography probably around either 2016 or 2017. Um, and I mainly do just portrait photography. I've always been into portrait photography because I like taking. I think everybody, I believe like every person is. different or like unique in their own way. So when you take a portrait, it's like always going to be unique.
Yeah.
Where and like I'm not to like disown any other type of photography, but like I mean, there's like so many pictures of like a skyline you can take of like New York, but a person is always gonna be different. Everyone's
That's
different and
fair.
unique. So don't get me wrong. I really like
No,
landscape
I get
photography.
what
I
you're
really do like it.
saying.
Um, but yeah, so I think yeah, I've been doing it since I'll say around 2017. Um, and as far as how that helps me, I think the photography skills really come in handy, especially the editing part of pictures,
Mhm.
because I've been using Photoshop and Lightroom a lot for the
Mhm.
past since since probably around 2017 as well.
Yeah.
And so having those Photoshop skills and those Lightroom skills really helps me whenever I'm making like outside of photography. It really helps me when I do make graphics or like just any type of picture edits. I feel like that really comes in handy. And then Lightroom, just learning different things about like lighting, color science, things like that, really helps. Really translates over into like video editing when you're trying to like maybe do some lighting enhancements for like the color grading of videos, or when I'm like setting up stream and making sure that everything is everything like looks right, because I sometimes get really picky about these type of things. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, I don't know. uh but yeah, I think it really helps with helps me out when I'm trying to make things look visually appealing, because I really like try to focus on quality a lot of times when I do things.
No, yeah, I definitely can see that from some of the pictures. Like some of my favorites is possibly like the Zorro picture that I saw, and then even like the Spider-Man one, like how the dark contrast and stuff. So I was like, okay, once I found that you're a photographer, it made a lot of sense because a lot of them are like there's a lot of detail put into a lot of pictures.
Yeah. Um, I do would so with a lot of that stuff, like it's really just like I've been trying to try some new things this past year.
Hmm.
Trying to take my photography to the next level. I have two of my like frat brothers. They're
Yeah.
also photographer,
Hmm.
and like they're able to focus a lot more because in the content creation side of things, they focus mainly on photography. So I've been doing some of the work. We have like a photographer group chat together where we talk about
Yeah.
different things, where we like send each other like uh, uh, we send each other like raw pictures so that we can like each like do like an editing challenge, see who can do the best
Yeah.
edit. Or we talk about different things like some of the like technical things like aperture, ISO, shutter speed, things like that.
Hmm.
And so seeing all their works always encouraged me to like has like in the past year has like it really encouraged me to try to step my game up, because they're both really good at photography. They're both really good. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, one of them is doing some pictures right now as we're talking,
Oh,
for um back home. So he
yeah.
so you know, it's like we're always talking about photography is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have really encouraged me to like just step up my game. Like I've been trying to work a lot with lighting, a lot with portraits, trying to do like indoor shots, trying to see how I can like better take pictures of myself, getting Carol bits out so she can like model for me so I can try out different things. Um, yeah, just things like that.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations for being one of the cosplay models for my cosplays back for Talking Noir. So I want to talk about how that experience was for you, like just from finding out about the opportunity and then seeing that you got chosen. Like, how did that feel for you? Especially because that's a big accomplishment for your first year in cosplaying, also.
Yeah, that was honestly that was probably like one of my highlights of last year. That because that was really cool. So I get to be I'm I'm Mr. June, so that's cool because you know Juneteenth and everything. But
Yeah.
but that was really cool. So how I found out about it. So one of one of my frat brothers who's also like a cosplayer and content creator. His name is goes by BKE for life on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Hmm.
He actually told us about it and just told us to like apply for it. And I was like, I mean, why not? Why not just apply?
Hmm.
I felt like those pics I got for BlurCon were pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And
Mhm.
you know, I was really I mean, it was just really cool because like I was just really excited. I don't know how to like explain how I feel because it was it was just like a cool feeling to get selected. I'm really happy to have been selected. I really hope that people see my cosplays and can get inspiration from that. As someone who was like at the time like I still am like super new to cosplay because I had
Yeah.
only been cosplaying for like a few months at that point. So yeah, yeah, um, yeah. So just like being selected felt like, oh, okay, maybe I can do this, and I'm gonna keep doing this. Just keep pushing forward, see what happens, see how my cosplays will continue to progress.
Yeah, I love that for you guys for Carobits, and even for me, I like the fact that he chose February was kind of crazy. or
Yeah,
even when
yep.
or even when like I just did it just because, and I think I needed like a slightly higher quality picture for one of them. So like that's when I found out that I was gonna be in the calendar through that, and I was like, wait, what the? I'm like, what? Hold on. I was like, hold on a second. And I had to like keep the secret for like a good like 2 weeks because it was like right before he was gonna say anything. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. I mean, so I understand that feeling. You're like, oh, you're like, you applied for it, but it's the one thing to be like, oh, okay, this actually happened. So I understand that feeling, like not trying to comprehend how to like explain it. So
Mm, yeah. We also, whenever we see each other again, I remember.
yeah,
I think we first met at a BlurCon. You were Nico Robin.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
got to get a picture together as Robin and Zorro.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Maybe I'll bring it back. Maybe I'll do more than one cosplay on a certain day. That sounds scary for me right now, but we'll see. We'll see.
It's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it's something. Yeah, bringing a lot of cosplays is hard. I agree. I agree. Like when I was Zorro, like carrying those three swords all day was like was mentally draining for me.
Yeah.
Like that's the main reason I haven't cosplayed Zorro again
Mm,
because it's like if I cosplay him,
mm.
and it's like someone would say, "Oh, just don't carry all three swords." It's like, but then it's not Zorro if you don't have the
That's
three
not-
swords. And so it's like if I cosplay Zorro, I have to carry the three swords. But carry those three swords was really tough last year.
That's great. And also, I wanted to talk about your fitness journey because you do share it when you can. I know you have plans for the fitness content. So, what got you into fitness so heavily, and like, what are some of the goals you have, and for the content that you're gonna do, and just in general for your fitness?
Okay. So fitness. So starting with my fitness journey. So I actually started. It was during the pandemic. So March of 2021. So wow, it's been 4 years because it's March now. That's crazy. I feel like the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
just
The food, but
like a whole time skip. But in March in 2021 was like the first time I decided to go to the gym because like at the time I was living in Seattle. Um, I don't know if you know much about Seattle, but
like a little bit, like tiny bit.
there's not like there's something called the Seattle freeze where pretty much people aren't really friendly.
Mm,
Plus, there aren't like a lot of black people out in Seattle.
yeah,
Plus, it was the pandemic, so it was really just me being inside my apartment
yeah.
all day, every day,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, this is
No,
not healthy.
over.
I need to go outside because like
Yeah.
at the time, the job was like fully remote too because of the pandemic,
Mm,
and so one day I just like, oh, I'm just gonna start going to the gym, and um, it was like it was like for two reasons. Like one, I was like, this is not healthy. Two, actually, this is like a little personal, but back in 2019, I
yeah.
was diagnosed with MS with multiple
Mm,
sclerosis, and
okay.
so that so the whole physical like health is like very important to me. So like I pretty much do strength training and cardio,
Oh,
um,
okay.
which like really helps, which like study shows can really help out with um, you know, slowing down the progression of that. So that
Mm-hmm.
along doing like being able to exercise every day as long
Yeah.
along with like my treatment will help me get to live like a long normal life. So that was also like another motivation. And so I just kind of like continued that over the years. And actually, this account I'm on right now, this Jeysthoughts account, when
Yeah.
I created it back around then too. And this page was
Hmm.
fully dedicated to tracking my
Yeah.
fitness journey, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
um, all those posts are archived now, but like I can look back in the first post, and the first post I'm like super skinny.
Hmm.
I don't remember how much I weigh. I never actually looked at my weight. I based everything off how I looked in the mirror. So I would like post progress updates like every week to show where I was at, and then it got to a point where I was feeling comfortable with my body and
Yeah.
everything. Um, so I just kept like that's how where the original content first came from. But then I started like moving it over to like creating like just different shorts video with different templates that you can find on CapCut just to show like me doing different exercises
Yeah.
with that. And as far as the content I want to make, I haven't really thought. That's something I've been thinking about a while because I do want to post more fitness content because I think right now the only thing I posted related to fitness is like I have a highlights
Yeah.
on my page that has all like me just doing different like tracking my progress on lifts. But I don't know if I want to do like I see a lot of content on Instagram of things that look cool, like maybe like teach how to do certain things or just show certain things. Or I don't know if I want to do skits or something. I really haven't thought about it yet. But I do know that like it's a goal to make more fitness content. Something something that that's very new to me for that I started around September last year.
Yeah.
I started taking kickboxing
Yeah.
classes.
Hmm.
So I think some content would that I do want to do is like as I progress with that, I want to like show off like different cool combos like punches and kicks and like maybe like try to mimic like fights from like animes. I think that would be really cool. But I got to get better first before I can just start doing that on the internet. Don't
No,
want to
I
like
get
hurt myself. I'll
no, I get that.
try to do like a tornado kick and break my leg or something. I
Bro,
don't.
that's so real. Oh my God. That's so real. I get that. But no, I think you're gonna do great. And whenever you do post that content, I'll be tuning into it. Because I did see like the fitness, like, progression and like how you're doing the martial arts classes. And I wanted to ask how was Lift NYC for you, especially because you're heavy in the journey right now.
Oh, Lift NYC was it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was a weird day though, because the weather was like kind of cold at first, and then it was like really hot that day. So it was like felt weird. The outside was like really weird, but other than that, like it was really cool. It's cool to see a lot of people who enjoy fitness, um, just out there gathered together to just just connect with each other. They were like doing like there was like a PR cage where people were like doing like bench presses, deadlifts, all type of PRs. There was all oh, of course it's by Gymshark, so of course they were selling a lot of Gymshark gear.
Yeah.
May or may not have been overpriced. Uh, but of course we bought stuff
Yeah.
regardless.
Mhm.
They had like food there. It was like a really cool like mini thing to do over the weekend. Something I'm glad we went to it. I only heard about it because my one of my line sister, one of my like sorority sisters,
Yeah.
she went to they had one in Miami. They had a Lift Miami, and she went to
Mhm.
that and really enjoyed it. And she told me about it, and so I was like, oh, they're doing one up here in New York City. So like I'm gonna check it out, see what it is, because she's like really into the fitness stuff too. So it was really cool. It was really cool time.
That's awesome. And when it comes to cosplays, are there any different forms of cosplays that you want to experiment with? And what's your favorite? Like, so when I say experiment, like, 3D printing or prop making or face painting, like that stuff like that.
Mm.
And then what is your favorite cosplay? Because there's a lot of ones that I know that you probably love, but I like asking that question.
Ooh. Okay, so I think so for the first question, I want to try more, more makeup stuff, right? Try more
Mm.
makeup stuff. So there's a Halloween store that's in Lower Manhattan that we went to that had like a workshop on the like the creating like the scars and all the makeup type of stuff. Um, so that's something I really want to try out. At BlurCon, met a guy who was cosplaying Nanami,
Yeah,
like normal Nanami, but you remember that scene from
yeah,
JJK where half of his body's all burnt up?
yeah.
He showed a picture of him like in that with makeup, with the
Mm.
makeup he did, and I was like, man, that is super cool. So I want to try and like recreate that. My goal is what I want to experiment with is I want to recreate like the half burnt Nanami cosplay,
Mm. Yeah.
and it'll be like a double thing because then I also am gonna experiment with some photography for it.
Oh.
So like that's hopefully something. Yeah, it's only March, so hopefully I can get to that at some point this year. That's definitely a goal for this year. And then second question, favorite cosplay. That's a tough one because they're hmm,
You have a good set now, so I know this kind of.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if this is recency bias, but
Yeah,
I did a Blade cosplay at BlurCon this at, uh not last weekend, right? I think
yeah,
so.
yeah. Last week.
Um I did a Blade cosplay, and one of my frat brothers who I was talking about who also does photography, he was there too to take some pictures for them,
Hmm.
and the pictures, I had no doubt about this because he's an amazing photographer, but those
Yeah.
pictures came out like super amazing, and I really can't wait to share those pictures. Hopefully you see what I mean when I post them, but because of that, right now that is my think that Blade cosplay is gonna have to be my favorite right now. But of course, that still could just be recency bias. But I guess if I had to choose like before one that isn't that Blade cosplay, um, I don't know. It's tough. I really like the Zoro. I really
Yeah.
like the Nanami, and I really like the Ryu. So
Yeah.
that's kind of
Mm.
tough.
And you don't have to, I mean, like some people have just like told me they're like top three because I know how difficult it can be with some people, so that works.
Okay, yeah. Let's just go with those. Let's just go with those.
No, yeah, you're fine. I feel like some people do because, like, like when I talk with Carol Bits, like she has like her specific like two that she likes a lot, and then some people are like, "Oh yeah, I love this one because of this." But it's definitely a hard question, so don't worry, you got no pressure to like.
I just I just think they're all like super cool. I mean, I just think getting to dress up is cool. So I don't know, but I think Zoro and Nanami. We'll go with Zoro and Nanami. Okay, huh. Yeah, it's gonna have to be those. Well, it's gonna be Blade, but if I don't include Blade, it's probably a tie between Zoro, Nanami, and Ryu.
No problem, no problem. I mean, those were good ones too, so I don't blame
Thank you, thank you.
you. And I wanted to ask, what are some of the goals, like short term or long term or both, goals that for you when it comes to your content in general? So it could be any of the content that you do.
Okay. Ooh, that's a tricky one. I realize, well, one thing I do want to do is I need to like get organized. I feel like I'm doing way too much right now, so I
Mm.
need to like lock in on something. But it's all good. It's all good. So I think one goal. Okay, I'm gonna just go down the list. So some 2025 goals for Instagram and like TikTok. I want to post more like short form content, like more like I recently posted 2 shorts that was like asking about people's first experience with anime, if it was like for kids or Toonami, because I'm
Yeah.
creating a video around that. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna post like more interview type videos like that. Um, I of course want to continue posting more cosplays,
Yeah.
um, and get more creative with that and like the whole makeup thing. So that's also a goal. Um, for YouTube, I know I want to do more non-gaming videos, more like
Yeah.
videos just talking about different like nerdy topics. Like like I know one thing I want to do is like a retro on the Spectacular Spider-Man animated show because it's probably my favorite animated Spider-Man show. Although the new one that came out on Disney Plus recently was like really good, it's way better than I was anticipating. So that might like get up there. But I want to do more non-gaming videos on YouTube. Twitch, I just want to with Twitch, I just want to get like more consistent with streaming. I don't have any sort of set schedule. It's kind of right now. It's like I stream whenever I have free time to stream. It's kind of hard
Yeah.
sometimes to do because I do have a full-time job and I'm in grad school part-time, so it's like this whole time management thing is starting to like collide.
Yeah.
But I do want to stream more consistently, so because I do want to eventually like get to like Twitch affiliate status. I think that would be a really big milestone for me. But I know to do that, I have to be more consistent.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I for short-term goals, I think that's pretty much it. Long-term goals, um, I just want to continue to like grow with the like the blurred community in general. Um, yeah, growing with the blur community like over this past year has been like really cool. The um my one of my frat brothers, BKE for life, he started a community for like blurs who are also members of the D9, um which he called Blurred Nine. um and so I know like being a part of that community has been like really cool, and helping him along with our other moderators to grow that community has been super cool. And so like I kind of want to like do more of that, like continue to grow a community, like even outside of Blur Nine, but like form a whole community. Like what am I trying to say? Just continue to grow and
Yeah.
have this community because this community has been like very cool to be a part of this past year, and it's like something that I hope just continues to get better.
That's good. That's great. And actually, yeah, I remember well, I know Caribus had a panel. I know like you guys were doing stuff with Blurred Nine, and for those that may not know about like the community and like what you guys do and how has it helped you creatively, like you can share a little bit of that now.
About Blur
Yeah.
Nine, oh okay. So Blur Nine, pretty much Blur Nine is a member for Blurs who are also members of the Divine Nine. And the Divine Nine, for those who don't know, is an organization that consists of the nine Black Greek lettered organization. I myself am a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And so the goal of Blurred Nine really is to create that safe space for D9 members who are also blurred.
Mhm.
It's a very like being a blurred is already like a very niche thing,
Yeah.
but being a blurred and D9 is like another layer. And we know there's like a lot of D9 members who probably aren't like comfortable to be like blurs maybe in
Mhm.
their orgs, or they don't have that community or don't know that. So it's kind of like something where like, hey, come join this community. It's a safe space. We all talk, we all fun, we're all very much so pro black, we're all very much so super nerdy, and we're all members of the D9, so we can understand like those three things is like we really get it. We can connect with you on all three levels of those things. So yeah, with that, it's like been really cool. We've gained. We're almost at like 200 members right now, so that's
Yay!
like really cool. Um, and it's just been, and it's like I remember when it started, like
Yeah.
when he started it.
Hmm.
versus where it is now. And it's only been like, because we started it at BlurredCon last year, right?
Yeah.
And to what it is now, it's grown so much, and our community has gotten so big. We're always talking about something every day. We always connect every day. I feel like I've made like true, genuine friends with a lot of the people in the server,
Yeah.
and especially with the other mods. Like we like at our panel at BlurCon last weekend.
Yeah.
It was really cool seeing them all in person again.
Yeah.
We all had the matching shirts with our names on the back. That was like really cool. One of the and like we had a picture where we're all like with our backs turned so you can see
Yeah.
the back of the shirts, and we all were throwing up like our Oryx hand signs, and it was like very reminiscent of I don't know, you know the scene from do you watch One Piece?
Yes.
Okay. Of course you do. You were Robin. Of course you watch One Piece. Do you
I
remember
may
at the end?
not I may not be caught up, but I want enough.
Oh, it's okay. I'm not caught up. I'm on like episode. I've been on episode like 960 for the past like 4 months. I told myself I was gonna catch up while I was on hiatus. I did. I understand. It's a lot. It's a lot to consume. I've been on this
Yeah.
journey for like the past 3 years now. I understand, but like that picture where we all have our backs turned, it was very reminiscent of the at the end of Alabasta when the crew is like leaving Princess Vivi behind, and they
Oh,
can't like
yeah.
say anything to her so she won't get in trouble, so they just like put their hands
Yeah.
up, and like that's what that picture was very reminiscent. So it was like oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Like y'all really failed. Like this is real. This is real. We're like really doing this. Like we really created this community together. So yeah, all of that was like really cool.
That's awesome. And hopefully next year, if you guys have panels, I'll be able to make it. This year was crazy. Like I was just like, oh my god, I missed the best. Oh my god. But like, hopefully next year, if you guys do it, I'll definitely try to be there.
Yes, please come out. Please come out. All the panels were cool. Few of the members like had panels, and they were all like really good. Especially Carol, hers was like it was like really packed, but it was like
Yeah,
really cool to see.
that's awesome. That's amazing. And I wanted to. The question I usually ask for these shows is about support in the Blur community. So, what better person to ask that? So, I usually ask, what do we do well so far to support each other? What can we do better to support each other? I ask this question because everybody has different opinions based on their experience in the community.
So I think something that we do very well is we like share each other's content, and we create a safe space for each other. Um, it hasn't, hopefully it doesn't happen at all, but it hasn't happened yet where I've met a blurred and have felt uncomfortable by that person's presence. All the blurred spaces that I'm currently a part of have just been very much so open, supportive. We want to see you grow as a creator, or if they're not creators, we want to have this space open for you so that you can talk about all your nerdy stuff together. Um, so I think just like creating like just creating that safe space is something we did great. And then something we can improve. Hmm, that's a tough one. I never haven't thought about that yet. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You're good. You're
Uh,
good.
I think I'm always just trying to be so focused on the positives.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
good.
um, I think thing maybe that
Mhm.
one thing that I've at least noticed is that there might be like certain little segments of the blurred community, like, or
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we would even consider these people blurs, but certain
Hmm.
segments that might be a little like gatekeepy,
Mm.
which
Mm.
to me just feels like, goes against the point. If you're a black and if you're a nerd, uh, this is supposed to be like a safe, open space. So maybe there's some gatekeeping.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe we can work on that a little more. But other than that, I don't. I think so far, at least in my opinion, the blurred space has been very, very open, safe space, and really does a lot to support each other.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, obviously, like I said, like everybody has different experiences. That's why I like asking that question. Everybody has a different response to it. So I do appreciate your response as well.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's definitely never really thought about the like the cons or anything.
Because I've had so many people on the show, so everybody's had like different opinions or different experiences, or even before I created the show. So I was like, all right, I guess let's just talk about it because like there's so
Mm.
many different opinions. I was just like, maybe somebody will relate to one experience or a different experience or a different one. Like everybody's open to just talk about how they feel. You know what I mean? So that's like the goal for me when I like do these interviews.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Um, yeah, I mean, I love the Blur community right now. I have no problems. I love all the communities that the Blur communities that I've been able to be a part of this past year, especially Blurred Nine. So yeah,
Yeah, Blurred Nine seems like definitely doing their thing, and I'm proud of you guys for what you guys are doing.
thank you so much. We're working hard. We're trying to, we're like we're like spitballing ideas every day to see what we can do to continue to grow and provide that space for all the Black Greeks out there.
hmm That makes sense. And the last question I'll ask is, well, I guess it's a two-parter. I guess the first part would be, how do you deal with like burnout or imposter syndrome, trying to stick to the content in the best capacity that you can? How do you get through that period? And then, how has this journey in content creation helped you in some ways? For some people, it could be mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
So first part, how so the burnout thing and imposter syndrome. So well, that's like interesting because I feel like in this space that
Yeah.
happens less often.
hmm
The imposter syndrome and burnout has happened less for me because professionally I do work in tech, so
mm
there's obviously like not a lot of black people in tech, and so with that I've dealt with like a whole bunch of imposter syndrome and burnout, especially.
mm
Just trying to work hard to like get to where I'm at in my career, in my professional career.
Yeah.
So this whole content creation thing was actually kind of like something I started doing to
mm
stop the burnout from that. So like right now, so far, I haven't really experienced burnout from content creation because I use it as a way to balance out all my
mm.
professional work as well as like
Yeah.
the grad school stuff because it's all the same stuff.
mm
Um, so yeah, it's kind of it's like a weird answer because it's like I'm using this to prevent burnout
No,
from the other stuff.
good.
Like it helps me balance. It helps me just balance out everything that's in my life. Um, and as far as imposter syndrome, I really try to make a point of it that like not compare myself to others. Um, there are a lot of cool creators
Yeah.
out there
hmm
doing very cool things, and I look at and like I like to like if there's someone who I want to be
Yeah.
like I don't see it. I don't try to compare myself to them. I try to see what can I do with my content to like
Yeah.
get to that level or
Mhm.
like maybe even surpass that level. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I see it. I try not to like say, "Oh, this stuff is really cool. My stuff is never gonna be that cool." I try to see it as, "Okay, their stuff is really cool. How can I make my content be cool like that so people will enjoy it?" And
Yeah.
and then for the second part of the question, um how has it helped my life? Uh, so I kind of like mentioned this, but like it helps with it's really given me like I don't know, it's really helped me expand upon some of my hobbies that I had already, like photography and like gaming.
Yeah.
Help me expand upon those so I can help like give me something to do outside of school and work, something
Yeah.
like non-tech related
Yes.
that I can
I
do
get
outside
that.
of uh, it's really helped me like balance things out, give me something that allows me to express my creativity, give me something that helps me with connect and meet new people, um, give me something to just do on my free time to like learn new skills, like I've learned a lot more about like
Yeah.
photography and like videography, and my next goal is to learn more about like the makeup and special effects stuff. Um, so I really just think it's like help just, overall balance me out, give me something to do, help me put myself out there to meet like new people and stuff. So yeah, I think mentally that like really helped me, and especially helped like put a halt on all that burnout that I was like
Yeah.
definitely about to feel, because I know 2023 things were getting pretty tough for me,
Pretty hectic.
pretty hectic, but I had to like take a step back and realize, I need to balance out my life more. And so this content creation stuff has really helped out with that a lot.
That's awesome. And I definitely related to that last part you said because I'm in STEM, so I'm a lab tech full time. So I can definitely understand that. I just told a friend, well, the few that know that what I'm doing outside, so outside of work, that I feel like I'm living a double life sometimes, not in a bad way.
Yes, yes, that's exactly what it feels like. It really does feel like a double life.
Because it's like I just came from BlurCon, and it was just like, the amount of people I met and I got to interview people and like all these new skills I'm learning, whether it's like the cosplay or like what I'm doing and then like all these people and like the heavy amount of support and then you go to work and you're like, oh and it's like it's not correlating the same.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's just like I guess like like duality, but you're like, oh my god, there's so much stuff I'm doing outside of work now. And it's like it's kinda cool, so I get what you're saying with that.
yeah. It's really cool. I know, like last year, October, I went to New York Comic Con, and I like told some of my coworkers. So one
Mhm.
of like the senior managers, he was like, you gotta like share your cosplay pictures with
Oh
everyone, right?
my
so
god.
I so I had to like I got like a lot of pictures of it, like, so it was kind of like it felt like my two worlds
Yeah.
were colliding then, because I had to like, because it's like a senior manager, like a really high level manager. He was
Oh.
like, you gotta share the pictures.
Oh my god.
And so I was like, okay, I'll share them. And so like I shared them with the team. But yeah, it really does feel like living a double life.
It is like that's the best way I could explain it, especially this year. It's just like I feel like every time I step out, it's like those spy movies, like or Hannah Montana or
Yeah,
something. It's like,
the best of both worlds.
but again, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully, you had a good time.
Oh, I had a great time. I love this.
And I just want to give you a time to plug in like all your socials where you want people to follow you and stay in tune with your content.
Okay, so on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Twitter, although I don't really use Twitter that much, I am Jeysthoughts. And then on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, I am J High Def,
Mhm.
because when I made my YouTube account 13 years ago, JHD was already taken, and so I decided to stick with J High Def. I think that was close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so pretty much YouTube got a lot of right now lately. I've been just re-uploading my YouTube or my Twitch VODs onto YouTube.
Mhm.
It's like a quick way I can get content out there.
Yeah.
But I do plan on doing some more like non-gaming videos soon. Twitch, I will be mainly a lot of my Twitch games I have planned is games I have planned to stream are pretty much horror games. So if you like horror games, come join my stream so I'm not alone, scared out of my mind. Um, it's always helps when the chat is there to
Yeah.
ease me a bit. Um, and then TikTok and Instagram, and I just got some more like short form content coming.
That's awesome. And again, thank you everybody that jumped in, jumped out. I really do appreciate it. So tomorrow we're gonna be having repeat guests. We're gonna have Famicom Online. They're gonna talk about their new series coming out and a bunch of things since the last time we spoke. It's probably been a good 6 months at this point since the last time we spoke. And for those who may not know what I do, hi, I'm AnimeInkArt. This is my brand name. Started off with me, doing my art. I have my merch. I'm trying to get back to vending. I'm working on somebody's Pokemon commission. You may see that. If you join the broadcast channel, you see everything first there. So definitely join the broadcast channel. If you're interested to know like the store and like how to get commissions and where I'm gonna be next. Definitely check all the links in the link tree, in the bio below. So sometimes you'll see me promote my brand once I get back into like all the art stuff. You'll see the art, you'll see the shows because the mission statement it's part of the mission statement. It just happened over time where I support the community, like I highlight and uplift the community as well as do my own content. That's why I'll continue to do these. And just as a like an update to you guys, I did an open call during Black History Month. That's how I was able to be booked. It was thanks to you guys. That's how you guys had consistent shows without even me asking for the past month and a half. It was because of your support and you guys reaching out to me and DMing me to schedule. And I may do it again because there's certain holidays where I want to like April, like maybe like for black business, like a lot of black businesses, anybody's still welcome, but like highlight more black businesses. May might be for Black Fae Day creators, and then June we're gonna see like probably like a lot of black artists and stuff like that. So it's still like in the process. So definitely join the broadcast channel. I'm gonna be doing questions and updates if you guys want that. But I just wanted to put that out there because that's the idea. So yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a good start to your week. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I hope you have a good night. Bye. And
Bye.
this live will be saved, so don't worry, guys. Bye.